What up, what up, what up? Welcome to another episode of Wealthy Hours, where application of wealth is power. Today we rocking strong, and y'all know how we do it. This your boy J McMillie tapping in. To my right is the man that always keep it tight, Cadero, the chosen one.
Salute,
Cadero,
salute.
what's up, baby? How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed by the best and praying for the rest. You know what I'm talking about? How you doing,
man,
brother?
Man, I'm better than amazing, man, like my boy DL say, man. And to my left, man, this guy needs no introduction. Literally a legend in the game, a pillar of the community, someone who has made accolades and riffs all throughout the United States and the world. My brother and friend, Mr. Lester Pace.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing,
that,
man?
I like that.
Yeah,
I'm doing great.
Man, tell them what PACE stand for. When you tripped me out when you told me that. What does PACE stand for?
I tell you, PACE stands for Positive Attitude Changes Everything.
Oh, I like that.
Go.
Yeah. So that's what it stands for. Positive Attitude Changes Everything. So when they came up with it, I got to tell you the story how it came up.
Talk to us.
And it's a moment. So what happened? I was going through divorce. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was going through my divorce, my ex-wife, she had moved to Houston. I was living in Memphis, Tennessee at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm out at dinner one night and I get an alert from Regions and Bank of America, like some money coming out of my account. So I called Regions the next day. They returned the money back because it wasn't the check. Well, my ex, she was smart. She took some checks out of the back of the checkbook. Okay. So she wrote the check.
Yeah.
And so,
Thought she was slick.
So it's slick. So she got us a Regions term. So Bank of America told me they had to do their investigation.
Mm-hmm.
So while they was doing investigations a couple of weeks, I'm in Dallas, in Dallas. So I'm at the hotel and Bank of America agent called me, security officer, say, sir, we're not going to return your money because it looks like she signed a check to pay a light bill or something before. You never said anything about it. It's like I approved for her to sign for the check. I said, but her name is down on the account. He said, sir, there's nothing we can do it. So at that time, I snapped. I said, okay, I'm finna go to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
The Range Rover she drives is in my name.
Uh-huh.
So if I bust the windows out of it, what they gonna do? They gonna take me to jail? Or they gonna take me to jail for busting windows out of my own car?
Right.
So I said, I'm gonna fly down, I'm gonna go to Academy or some sporting goods, get that baseball bat and bust windows out.
Yeah.
So I get to Love Field and I'm walking through the airport and the TSA man, a guy, white guy, looked about 70 years old. I gave him my license. He said, Lester Pace, positive attitude changes everything. I said,
Wow.
excuse me? He said, your last name Pace, right?
Yeah.
He said, yeah, positive attitude changes everything.
Wow.
I said, okay.
Yeah.
He gave my license.
That was a sign.
I walked through and I didn't get on the plane. I went back. I said, okay, God, I heard your message.
Man.
I heard the message. I got it. So I started using that acronym all the time with my name, not only just for me, but whenever I'm going through a difficult time, I got to always remember my attitude. The attitude is the most, how you handle everything is going to be about your attitude.
Yeah.
Even in the worst times, how your attitude. You know, a lot of times we go through things, we think screaming and hollering and everything. And sometimes I say, and I always use this other thing, I say, I got to put my Victor Newman on.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see Victor Newman, people, old school people know who Victor Newman is,
Right.
you know. He was always cool. Cool, calm, and collected.
Yep.
And so that's how I try to do, but that's how that came up.
I never knew that. I mean,
A lot of people, I don't know how to say it, tell people that.
Yeah.
But I hope my ex don't get mad at me, but it's the truth. That's what happened. So, you know, I think I got to
Hey, your ex ain't got no business being
we all
mad.
go through something that's going to make us snap.
Right.
Yeah.
And those moments that we snap could cost us 50 years or a lifetime
Come on,
for
man.
that one simple mistake.
Come on, man.
And I like how you said it because I was like, she can't get mad. How she gonna get mad when she's over her moving money that wasn't hers?
Right.
A hot check for real.
Yeah.
but I like that what you said, like how positive attitude changed everything because one false move can land you in prison.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I came
right.
out the projects. You saying that helped me hearing that because sometimes, man, we don't think before we move.
Right.
You can make one bad move and it costs you the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Right.
And to that, man, my mentor told me one time, he said, when your attitude is right, the facts don't count.
Right.
And that was one thing that always stood with me. And like I said, we're going to tap into it. But with everything that I've been through. I mean, I could even talk about what I've been through today. I just told y'all, but I still, you know, I even told A-List over there, shout out to him. I said, well, at least didn't nobody die. And he was like, well, yeah, that's a real good way to look at it. And he said, hey, don't catch no flat. He said, you know, you bad on them tires. You know? And I was like, you know, but just having that positive attitude through everything, just knowing everything's gonna work out. So man, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, man. That's a fun fact about my ace pace, man. So let's tap right into it. I know we started early, but let's tell the audience, man, we got quite a few subscribers here on this channel. Man, who is Lester Pace? I mean, start from like the beginning because, and I don't want you to leave anything out because your hard work, your dedication, man, your grit, your resilience is recognized all throughout. I see a lot of people give you your flowers, and you know, I always try to give you your flowers as well.
Oh, no, I appreciate that.
But just tell the people, like, who is Pace?
All right, just to give you a start off, I'm from Lester Pace. I'm from Houston, Texas. I started off in the music industry as a disc jockey. So back when I was in high school, I used to do the morning announcements at school. You know, do the little DJ talk on the radio, over the PA system. And one of my teachers asked me, have I ever thought about being a disc jockey? And I'm like, no, not really. So she turned me on to, they had in Houston, they have Texas Southern University.
TSU?
TSU has a radio station, KTSU. So what they had to have a program that was called Kids Jams. So what on Saturday mornings, they would let kids from 10 to 2 run the radio station.
Oh, that's dope.
Okay, so so we was in high school. So they had high school and some of the people was in college. So she got me on the show. So the lady named Pam Collins put me on. So at that time when I went to the show, at 10 o'clock in the morning for the first 6 months to a year, all I was able to do is stand around and watch the people on the air, the other kids who were running the station. So at that time, they weren't playing no hip hop on the radio. All they was playing Ray Parker Jr., Stacey Lattisaw, and all this type of stuff at that time. So what happened, I was rap music back then. So I used to go and buy my rap records and everything from the Sugar Hill, Tommy Boy, you know, just labels, anything. So I would go to the station. So finally, one Saturday morning, a lot of the people didn't show up because they had, matter of fact, it was TSU of homecoming. So everybody going to homecoming race. So I'm in the studio. So I'm like, okay, I get a chance to be on the air live myself. So I get a chance to be on the air. I start playing this rap music. So next thing you know, they have, and if those you know about radio, they have a red phone like the bat line. So that phone rung, the program director called. She said, Lester, take that rap music. I quit playing all that rap music. So I hung the phone up. I started playing some old Stacey Lattisaw, Johnny Gill type records. Then all of a sudden I put another rap record on. And then I tried to come down. She called again, told me to stop. So each week, so what happened, the guy Michael, rest in peace, Michael Mitchell, he was the main jock. So he started saying, Lester, like we went from 10 to 2. So he would go from 10 to 12. At 12, we had a talk show called Be Yourself, which was for high school and college kids to have. It was just like an open forum. So we talk on there. So then 1 to 2, they let me take over, and I had 1 hour. So in that 1 hour, I tried to kill it. So I'd be on there sometime. I play a few of those songs of hip hop. Then finally, the program director would call our time. You quit playing. You playing too much rap music. Don't nobody want to hear rap music. I say, Pam, I'll tell you what. Let's take a vote. So we took a vote. We doing that show one weekend, Be Yourself. And everybody said, we want to hear more rap music.
Nice.
And then so the program director said, okay, Lester, do your thing. And from that time, Houston just turned off. Everybody would record Kids Jam every Saturday on the radio. They would call because of the hip hop and everything like that. So I want to give a shout out to a lot of people. And people don't realize that was the frontier. So I want to give a story. Now I'm not trying to toot my horn, and because a lot of people say this not true. KTSU Kids Jam started the hip hop scene in Houston. Matter of fact, it was people like my man Azim. Y'all know Azim? Azim was with the group. Oh my God, Azim gonna kill me. But they from Dallas. We were the first one playing their music on the radio. So all of those. So Scarface, matter of fact, I was on a cruise with him a few weeks ago, and he was performing. He said, I want to give a shout out to my guy, Lester Pace, the first person to play my records on the radio. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Major. So it was started on this show. Same thing, UGK. UGK, we played their music first because they was the guy, I forgot his name, was selling their mixtapes out of the flea market, and we played "Tell Me Something Good." Was the first thing we're doing it. So even I go back with Scarface first time song. Mr. Scarface was on Lil Troy's record. It wasn't even on Rap A Lot.
Wow.
So you go do your thing. It was Shortstop Records. Okay, it's the Crazy C, and they had a whole little thing. If you go look up Shortstop, you'll see the album cover with Scarface on there. So I started doing it, and Kids Jam became very popular in Houston, and that's where everybody would listen to the show. Matter of fact, we slowed down. I don't want to say screwed. We slowed down the first record. And this is just the history, y'all. So if you go, there's a record called Fresh is the Word.
Fresh is the Word. Okay.
So it's a 12-inch, but it's supposed to be played on 45. But it's, most 12-inch are played on 33 RPMs.
Yeah.
So we accidentally had the 12-inch and we was playing it on 33.
Wow.
So it came on. It was like, man, trying to do. So we played that, and I was like, oh, man. So we let it play halfway through and we sped it up. Then every week, everybody would call and say, play Fresh is the Word. Slow down. They say slow down.
Wow.
So matter of fact, Daryl Scott, most get shot him. He was one of the biggest mixtape guys. You want to talk about mixtapes? Daryl Scott out of Houston was one of the biggest mixtape guys, and all of his mixtapes will have all these different hip hop and everything on it. So when you talk about the Houston rap scene, I hear people saying, and I don't try to debate people. I just don't debate people. If whatever you believe in, I'm giving you my truth of how and what I was there and what happened. And a lot of they look at the Captain Jackson and Steve Fournier's. I seen somebody post something, but I was letting them know they were in the clubs, but they weren't doing this rap thing like we were doing and stuff like that. Yeah. And I don't take anything from it. If you want to say they was the first one to play the hip hop in the clubs, fine. Yeah. But when it came to radio, we were breaking a lot of those records back then. Yes.
That was my ace pace.
Yeah. And I won't even say me, I say Kids Jam, but I pushed that rap thing forward.
You being again a man of humility, but you was the pioneer,
right?
And that's why I wanted you to tap into that, because I mean it's a message that's even profound in that, because you kept getting a call, hey man, don't do that, right? Don't play rap music, but you stayed true to yourself, and you stayed and you basically did what you believed in, and it paid off.
Right.
So let's talk like next level. So you break Kids Jam, you kind of introduce, we know DJ Screw, RP Watts, but you kind of like show people kind of what that slow, that slow to throw music is.
And see, them just don't mean to cut you off. Michael Watts.
That's your
worked
guy.
for me.
That's what I'm about to say.
Michael Watts used to work for me. Me and my best friend Walter D had a record store, and Watts used to come there, and we used to sell the mixtapes, and Watts started making the mixtapes, and that's where he started from.
Wow.
So Watts was in our store, and then he started selling his tapes, and then all of a sudden he started from there.
Understand who we got on this show right now.
And then,
a living legend. Wow.
So let's go. There. So years later, I'm going to go back, I'm going to jump forward because it's dealing with Watts, with Switch House. All of a sudden, I get a call when I got into the recording side of it, for as being a promoter. I get a call from this guy, Joey IE, and they started a label. I can't think of the label was, but they had Still Tipping.
Man.
Okay. So they were pushing this record, and I was the one that started that record at radio and marketing and got into that side from what I did when I got to the record side of it.
And people don't even understand Still Tipping is what introduced the world to Houston's culture.
Yes, exactly.
And shout out to Slim Paul and Mike.
Man. Yes.
Slim P.
So that's where it started. So to keep the story going from there, I left the radio side, and Jay Prince brought me over to Rap A Lot. Okay, that's how, and that's all I always give a shout out.
Talking to.
I always got to give a shout out to Rap A Lot, because it went for Rap A Lot and Jay Prince, I wouldn't be where I am today from the music side. Because Jay came to me one day, because I was playing the records on the radio, and he said, "Lester, you ever thought about being on the record side and being on a promotion side?" He said, "I think you would be good at it." So Jay gave me that opportunity, and when he gave it to me, I think I just took full advantage of it, because at that time I didn't know what to do. I was just hey, I got a credit card, and they told me I can go on the road, and I was going to every city meeting, every radio programmer.
What did he say? You had the corporate card.
I got the corporate card, man. I go to New Orleans, and I'll never forget this one opportunity. This program director, he was in New Orleans. He never would take my calls, but his name was DeRoy Stevens, and I would call the station. His call day was on Thursday. He never answered the call. So I said, I'm just going to go there. When does he meet people? So I drive from Houston, New Orleans, get there at 9 o'clock, and I'm sitting in the lobby from 9 to 3 or 4 o'clock. And then I asked the lady, you going to see me? She said, he didn't pick up. He said you didn't make an appointment. So it's a lot of things that we don't realize the dues we pay that other people don't have to pay to get where they, you know, and it teaches you to be humble. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I said, okay, but it's a lot of things that I've done, even from being a DJ on the radio. People understand, like some of my guys who came up under me that I gave opportunities to be in the business. I mean, I used to get up at work at McDonald's when I was doing Kids Jam, go there at 5 o'clock in the morning, get off at 10, jump on the bus with 30, 40, 50 records on my back and go to TSU and be on the radio. And everybody told me I was doing it. I was crazy because they said, how much they pay you? I said, they don't pay me anything. I did it for free. You know what I'm saying? So
putting in the hours. Alchemist.
Hey, man, you got to put in. When you love something, and sometimes you don't see the fruition comes back right then. It may be down the road. So when you do those things, I tell people, when you love something, you got to put your heart into it. And like I always tell my son, then what I did right then, I had a job at McDonald's, but McDonald's was my job. But going to KJ's Kids Jam was my hobby. And so when the hobby became my job, when they started to pay me, and now that's when I left that side and kept, moving on.
You confirm something what we just said on this previous episode. You let your 9 to 5 fund your 5 to 9.
That's right.
So your 5 to 9 retired your 9 to 5.
Right. I
love that story because people think back then, quit your 9 to 5. Now you don't quit your 9 to 5 immediately, because if you quit your 9 to 5, how would have took care of yourself in between that? People don't understand the power in that.
You said, I tell a lot of my friends, they be like, I had this conversation all the time where I'm gonna quit this job. I say, you never quit another job. I say, you get the other job first, then you leave.
Exactly.
And then you leave. And I got a thing called 5 for 5 that I say that I'm doing in life now. It's 5 businesses pay me at least $5,000 a month. I don't it's called 5 for 5. I don't have to operate them.
So hold on.
I got a couple that I deal with.
Hold on, say that. You said that too fast. You said that way too fast.
You got to break that.
That was wealthy. You said 5, because I like 7 streams. I like that 5.
I got a thing. It's called 5 for 5.
5 for 5.
We ain't talking about Wendy's.
Not Wendy's, no.
We're not 4 for 4.
We have 5 for 5. $5 businesses that pay me at least $5,000 a month.
Wow.
Okay, because I read the book Multiple Streams of Income.
Yeah.
And you remember on the first part of that book, they show you 3 rivers that are running. Then they said one dry up.
Well,
you still got 2
coming.
See what happened? We get a job, and it's many people in my music industry. They always be like, "Oh man, I'm working for Interscope." What I didn't care. When I worked for Interscope, I was hustling, working independent artist record on the side, because I say I never drive a car without a spare tire.
Man,
okay. Because they're gonna go flat one day,
man,
and you ain't got no spare. So my thing was, I always say I never drive a car that's spare tire. So even when I left Interscope, they fired me and let me go. I was like, okay, but I already had setting the pace going on. I had other things going on that was bringing in the income. Now I may have lost that big salary, but I still had something to come in and supplement what I'd lost while I worked to build on the next thing. And so what I tell people, I don't terms. I flew the coop. So I don't cooperate with the corporations. Okay? So you think about it, because you're in a coop because you're sitting here at this job, and guess what? Who's to determine what my value is worth? Okay? They're going to pay you what they think that you're worth. Yeah. Nobody can never tell me what I'm worth.
Yeah.
Nobody, because I'm always going to shoot for more. And so that's always been my philosophy. People say, oh, you need to slow down. I can't slow down.
Yeah.
And I tell them, and they like, but OG, I say, I'm not OG. I'm OHHGEE.
Oh, gee. Let's go.
So get into the title. You see my T-shirt. You see my T-shirt. OHHGEE. I'm the OG. He's still doing that.
What'd he say? Mel, get us some hats to me. I need a hat.
I need a shirt. I need a Letterman's jacket.
That is tough.
That's great.
So Pace. So you just mentioned Interscope. You just mentioned Jay Prince. I mean, some of the icons in the game. And I don't know if we could talk about this or not. You can let me know if it's appropriate or not. But then you get you land like another situation with Rock Nation, you know, and that took over. So at this point when you're at Rock Nation, you know, you've had these different things, you've had these big salaries, like you're not balling, you're not going out there getting a chain, you're not going out there getting.
Man, you see what kind of watch I got on now? Man, it's just a regular watch. It's just a G-Shock. A G-Shock. You know what I'm saying? Man, what you know, because when you talk about a lot of, and there's nothing wrong with the material things and stuff like that, but and you know, and I guess certain things I still want. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I guess the older I got, I started realizing those things mean nothing to me.
Wow.
You know what means the most to me? My health.
Man.
Health is wealth. Health is wealth.
Pace you. I see that on the regular.
Not to cut you off, but you said something key. And I'm glad, I thank God with me, I learned early because I hung up around a bunch of older people when I was a kid.
Right.
I never cared about materials. I used to have to beat people up because they used to laugh at what we had on. I was in a project, we didn't have a whole lot. So when I did it one time, I think twice, I went and bought a whole bunch of stuff and had me a fit. I said, man, this ain't worth a damn. And I was almost broke doing it.
Right.
So then when I actually seen people that had real money, they dressed like you. So when I saw that, a guy was like, because it was messing with my head so bad. I said, if you don't mind, can you tell me what you do? He said, you know what a Circle K is? I said, yeah. He said, I got 8 of them. But he was dressed like that. So then I cracked the code. I was like, people that got money don't show they got money.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm gonna use a female since we males, we can deal with that.
Right.
So you see her, and nothing against overweight women, anything. So please, anything I'm about to say, please do not be offended. Okay? So a girl comes in here with red bottoms, all the name brand stuff, but she's overweight and got all the expensive stuff. Now here comes another girl, body is nice, she got a Target outfit on and everything like that. And I've seen women like this.
Yeah.
You make the clothes don't make you.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
If you could put on anything, but the way you carry yourself,
that's
and
what
the
matter.
way you look, and everything like that. And it's to each to their own perspective. This is not me to put a knock on anybody. So it's like me. I see people, everybody want Nike, I wear Puma. I'm different.
Yeah, look,
I don't follow crowds.
That's what I did. I used to flip and do Adidas.
Right, see, that's what I'm saying.
Then they was like, what you doing? But then people start copying me. I was like you, I always thought outside the square because I'm like, y'all identity crisis. Y'all want to do Attack of the Clones. I'm going to do the Attack of my own.
If I walk in, everybody got on Air Force Ones and I got on one, guess what? I tell me, because I say, I'm a sheep, but I'm a black sheep. Okay? I'm the black sheep. So, you know, y'all are sheep and white, but I'm the black sheep. So I'm going to be different. I'm going to be me. And what I've learned is not let nobody's perspective of what they think about me bother me. Okay, so as I spiritually incline myself and start to freak, I tell people, I'm not in religious. I'm not, first of all, I don't do anything. I'm pulling myself away, and I don't like, I'm never gonna sit here with you guys and say, man, what's your religion or what you. That's on you guys.
That. Right.
I look at life like Pac-Man. There's frequency and vibration. I feel like I'm on level 5. If you're on level 2 or 3, I can't pull you up until you get past the next round. So that's how you have to do it. You don't knock people down there. Eventually, they will always rise. Eventually, if you don't, but I used to try to pull people up with you, and sometimes you can't try to do those things. So where I am, like I say, man, it's all about spirituality. It's about love and not looking down on anybody, not taking anybody for granted or trying to make somebody be what I expect they should be or knocking them from anything. Because I always tell people, well, the Bible says, I said, a bird never reads a book to fly south in the wintertime.
Ooh.
Never.
Hold on, say that one more time.
A bird does not read a book to fly south in the wintertime.
Golly.
I mean, you think about it. It's all built in our DNA. Everything that we know, we've been taught. And anything that man has touched to me has been tormented. So I can't say, well, the book said, well, what does your mind say? Because it's all built in your DNA. Right. And I have one thing I always tell people that conquer your Bible. They say, what is it? I say, love. Yeah. What would Jesus do? What would love do? So,
but people don't even realize, I know that's not what we're talking about. That's what the Bible is about.
It's about love.
Y'all hung this man, beat this man, shot dice and gambled with his clothes. And what did he say? Forgive them, Lord, for they don't know what they don't know what they do.
Lord, for they don't know what they do.
That's
and
it.
then the word you said, love. He said, so God so loved the world.
Right.
And I love what you said too, because if you're not tapped in spiritually, them just words.
Yeah. That's right.
And that changed my life. What you said, because from the material to physical, it's all one.
Mm-hmm.
And if one of them is off, that's why you can tell when you see people like they be unequally yoked with themselves. Because it's like you more tapped into this than you are this. But once you line both of them up, man, you got something incredible that can change your life forever.
Yeah. And then another thing, like I say, even with that, talking about the health part, health can be from the foods we eat, things. It can be to the people that you're upset with.
Man,
I have people who are upset with me, and I call some of them on New Year's and hey, man, Happy New Year. I just want you to know, I have no problem with you. I wish you the best and for all your family. I've called some of the people, I know it's mad at me, but guess what? Old Chinese proverb.
That's wisdom.
Anger is like drinking poison, expecting another person to die. Think about that.
No, you telling the truth.
Anger is like drinking poison, expecting another person to die.
Amen.
So they out there having a good time. You mad at them, and it's eating you up inside. So, man, I have people that I worked with. My best friend, we used to have an office together. And one of my partners came to me and said, so-and-so not paying his part of the rent, man. I noticed your guy and everything. And I went to him, I said, Dave, you got to leave. I said, you ain't paying for it? He said, huh? I said, man, you're not playing your part. I said, man, I got other people working there, so, you got to pay your part. He said, okay. I said, come on, let's go have a drink. It ain't personal.
No, that's it.
It's business.
Yeah, it's business.
It's not personal. It's business. So we have to learn how to do things, and it's even in relationships. Sometimes we grow apart.
Right.
So it don't mean that we got to be mad with that person or whatever in a relationship. Sometimes they grow and then they want to grow and do their own thing. You should be happy for them and let them move on and, and try to be a support system for them as you possibly can.
Wow.
Man, so I even want to, because my next question to you was going to be, so I got a 2-part question. I was going to ask you, just with your success and everything you've done in music, just being like, a big dog in the industry, how important, because you just mentioned spirituality, how important has mindset been with that? And then the other part to that is like you just said, a lot of people get heartbroken. A lot of people, when they experience failure, loss, being broke, being divorced, like, I know you operate on love, but like, what mindset and what frequency do you like operate on when you're dealing with these things? Because you've had a lot of success, but
I've had a lot of success and failures.
Yeah.
It is all through life. And what I've learned, those failures have helped you. I might not get knocked down 2 steps, but then I maybe take 3 steps forward. From being knocked down. I mean, I can tell you when I was DJing back in the day, I was DJing at this skating ring in Houston called Rainbow. I used to DJ there on Saturdays. The skating rink caught a fire and all my equipment burnt. So not on equipment, my records. So what am I supposed to do now? I have nothing to use to make money with, okay? And true story, and I'm revealing some stuff I probably shouldn't, but I think the Spirit is giving me, tell me to do it.
Yes,
so
sir.
at that time, I was probably about 21 or 22 at the time. And so back then, I had some bills, $500, where I had just bought a brand new truck, and I had a couple of probably Gordon's Jewelers or something like that back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So I had that bill. And so I'm at home, and I'm depressed, totally depressed. In that, I ain't going to say suicidal, but just totally depressed. And I'm having a conversation with the higher source. And I'm like, man, I just wish I was dead, man. All this stuff coming to me. And all of a sudden, I get a call on my mom's phone. The guy who managed the skating ring, who was running, he was leasing it from the guy, called me and said, hey, and I needed $500 at that time, I told you. So he called and said, hey, Lester, what's up this Bo? I said, what's up, Bo? Hey, man, I ain't doing nothing. I got some money from John Allen, but I ain't got much, but I got $500 if you need it.
God always on time. Boy, like, the source. Always on time.
I was like, wow, I can't believe this. And that was one of the moments that we all go through. And like they might not be there when you want them, but be there when you need them.
I was just going to say, we serve a God that show up on time and he don't need no watch.
They show up on time.
Wow.
They show up on time. So now, as the older I get, I try not, even we all worry and stress about things, but see, sometimes even you worry and stress, you blocking. You got a blocker. So if something's trying to come through, because that's a low energy vibration.
Yeah.
So you bring it vibe. Prime example. I didn't go this story, but a few weeks ago, I needed a certain amount of money, and it was a large amount. Somebody said, I'm not where it's going to come. And guess what? It was there to do what I needed to do.
And you know what I started saying now that you said that? I said, what has your name on it is already yours.
Right.
I was looking at a virtual shelf. It was like I saw it spiritually, right? And I thought I wasn't going to get it. I clearly heard God speak to me. He said, it's rightfully yours.
Right.
But the thing was, I had to see it.
Right.
I said, you know what? You show right. He said, everybody going to get there, but you going to get yours too. Sure enough, like you said, I didn't know how I was going to get it. And bingo, it hit.
Wow.
What you're saying is already there.
What you want wants you.
Man, I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
That's how I carry myself constantly like that. Like I said, you and I, we talk a lot. And a matter of fact, I made a decree the other day. It was another large amount. I was like, man, I want to invest in this hedge fund, but I got my money in investments. I was like, I don't have that liquid right now.
Right.
And my cousin, shout out to Jamal, he was like, well, bro, what are you gonna do? I said, I don't know. It'll show up.
Right.
And he looking at me like, nigga, what? You know? I said, nah, it'll show up. I said, I'm not worried about it, but that's how I carry myself because I'm a lender, not a bar. I'm a king. I'm a head, not the tail.
Right.
And I feel like if you carry yourself like that, everything always works.
And I'm gonna add this last piece, and this actually happened today, and it's amazing that we're talking about this alignment, right? I was looking at a cargo thing, right?
The van.
First, it said I was approved. Then it said I was denied. And then I heard God say, "You still approved." I get a phone call and say, "Hey, you approved." Again, what's already yours has your name on it. Yeah. They said the vehicle gone. Then they called me back and said they don't want it. You still want it? This happened before I came here.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, so what you saying, you just don't understand how in alignment you are right now. And now when I tell people, man, when you flow in favor, you will never lose that flow unless you just jump off the wave. And you got to be a different kind of crazy to do something stupid like that.
That is true. That is true.
Man, I know we would have to shoot like a documentary for us to talk about.
Oh, yeah, because we missed out a lot of things. We didn't talk about, the music side of it, how did yo.
But hold on, because Jason said something, though. I want to hear that about Rock Nation, bro. Like the journey of that.
Yeah. So, we got some time. So, just going into your journey about Rock Nation, and then like how you just got back on the music scene, you pushing your artists, all of that.
Right.
I was going to actually go into, because I know some of the conversations you and I have had, like when you're telling people to invest, in crypto, you're telling people to invest in the certain things that you and I talk about, and they be like, "Oh man, go on work there with that stuff, man. Go drop an album, and go make $500,000,
right? Right.
So just talk about like the importance, because even though you're in the music industry, you're making money, you're managing awesome artists, you're still reaping fruit from the things that you sold back then. But how important is investment?
Well, you think about the 5 for 5. Jay Howell, my artist, is one of my 5 for 5. I didn't expect it was going to be that, but I worked with him, and then all of a sudden,
Jay who?
Jay Howell, the male Beyonce.
Yeah, the Jay
That's
Howell.
What they call him, the male
Beyonce. He's performing here tomorrow night. So I started with him, and this guy was working. Give you a quick story. He was in Memphis, and him and the producer had raked like 60 records, and I heard that music. I'm like, dude, what are y'all doing with this? They're like, oh, man, nothing. We're not ready. So I got them to put it out. And here it is today. He's working 2 jobs. And I want to just tell the artists out there, don't think you can be independent. You can be independent, but major, okay? You don't have to be on a major label to be independent. We all trying to be the Diddy's and the big high school, but my artist went from making nothing, living in my basement, moved in for 2 or 3 years.
I remember that.
And now he done bought him a house, a nice house in Atlanta, everything. And you talking about, and we're streaming, making $30,000, $40,000 a month just off his streaming money.
Wow.
You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you, God.
But that's for him putting in the work. And it's not going to happen for everybody.
Right.
Because just because you're an artist don't mean that, because people think because you're painting a picture don't mean you're an artist.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So
you got to say that again, Paige.
just because you paint a picture don't mean you're an artist. Okay?
Shout out to Sharon Wood.
Okay. so that's like we go in the room, everybody's straightening up, and everybody's not gonna buy your art. You know what I'm saying? Just because you made something, you know, and you have to go within inside yourself to know. When I got in, I was a DJ. I wanted to be on 6 to 10, but I didn't. I got overnights when I got to in the business. So I went and played my position, whatever I did. So with the artist Jay Hall, I know I'm jumping all over, I'm trying to get everything in.
Good.
So with him, I built him up from there. That's one of my 5 for 5s. And then all of a sudden, Spirit came to me about crypto. Okay. And so what happened one day, I was on social media and this lady like Mama, I think she's a spiritual lady, listen to her like Mama's son. She said, if you guys are not into crypto, you need to get into crypto. It's going to change a lot of your lives. And she said something about this crypto called XRP. And so when she told me XRP, I'm like, hold on. I never heard of that. So I called a friend of mine who told me to get in Bitcoin 10 years ago, and I didn't listen. So his name is Crypto Jay. So I called Jay. I said, Jay, I heard about this crypto. Man, I missed Bitcoin, but what about XRP? He said, okay, explain to me. He said, well, XRP is a utility token. It's going to serve a purpose. I'm like, okay, tell me what to do. It says it's going to be for cross-border payments. So at that time, I did some research and started researching. And so all of a sudden I called one of my friends one day. We hadn't talked in 10 years. He gonna say, hey, Paige, guess what I'm into? You ain't gonna believe him. I said, what? Crypto. I said, me too. I said, what you got? XRP. Me too. Yeah. So all of a sudden, somebody tried to hit me on Coinbase and steal my crypto. So all of a sudden, he meet me to teach me how to put it on a wallet. So we're at the restaurant, sitting in the restaurant. Our waitress comes over. We're on our computers, and he's showing me how to transfer my crypto over. The next thing you know, the lady said, "Oh, you guys in the crypto? It's a guy came and told me I should get in it too. He said it will change my life." So she leave, and we come back and said, "What did he tell you to get?" She said, "XRP."
Wow.
And so that was 3 times, like going ding, ding, ding. And then she comes back also, who told you to do it? She said, a Georgia congressman, senator, a Georgia senator told her to do it. But I was sold from then.
And say, I can't even I got to cut you off. But you remember, people don't even remember from Trump's first election. I tell people that all the time. Well, Jason, what crypto you buy? I said, Trump already told you. They be, what do you mean? Trump got up there and literally said, just buy XRP. Everything could be okay. Just buy XRP. He said
he
that.
told you that.
And you're still asking what it is.
Man, I have people tell me this. I say, look, if I was telling you about Bitcoin is $60,000 a token. I'm telling you to invest in a coin that's $1.40.
Come on, man.
I be getting ready to go to Whataburger sometimes. I say, man, I'm finna spend $20. Man, forget that. I ain't that hungry. That's my 10 XRPs. Yeah. And I just accumulate.
Look at that mindset.
So I'm telling you, and do what you do. We're not gonna care. But 5 years from now, when you see us and we say, don't say shoulda, woulda, coulda. When you gave you the opportunity, and I would tell people, I buy ISO 222 tokens. Those are all utility tokens that are going to be part of the banking system, and they already been approved. And you got to treat it like a 401k. You got a 401k. You don't go look at it every week. No. You let them put the money. You just sit back, and 20 years later, you see what you've accumulated. And that's the way I think we got to do. And I just want to say, I'm like you. I want to help change people's lives. You know what I'm saying? Because the world is changing. Either you change or you're going to get exchanged.
That's one of them Darrows right there. You change or be exchanged.
Man, I'm telling you.
And we like swap you out. You ain't.
Shout out to Stranger Things.
But Pace, that was huge, man. Thank you so much for dropping those gems. I mean, because why that's major to me, because a lot of artists, you know, a lot of rappers, a lot of singers, you're managing artists, but you're still letting them know, yeah, I'm making this good music money. It's good, but I'm still investing in crypto. I'm still looking at other streams of income. I'm still hitting on my 5 for 5. So artists need to know, like, yeah, I mean, you're going to get your show money. You're going to get your stream money. You'll get your pub. You'll get your distro. But you still need to, invest in multiple streams, get your 5 for 5 right. So that's major, man. I appreciate you sharing that too.
No, man, thank you guys for having me out. I appreciate it. You know, anytime I'm able to get a chance to
I hope this ain't your last time.
It's so much. It's so much stuff that we get a chance to talk.
It's a lot to get out. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, because like I said, man, just I mean, it's been an honor to me. I mean, it's funny how we met. Like I said, we met on some real bougie type stuff. Right. And, in suites and stuff like that. Our boy Graham, shout out to Graham, man. He popping bottles and doing all this stuff. That's right. And while they having fun, you and me in the corner, we talking about investing.
Exactly.
So man, it's just been major, but yeah, I really, I mean, we got a few minutes left. I'm just gonna go around. I want you to really just give the people like a gem. You know, I mean, every day you push health as well. You know, every day you're talking about spirituality. You're talking about investing. You know, people really getting down to this thing. So if me and you just met, or you and I just met, what would be your best advice to me if I knew anything and I wanted to get started?
Get started.
I wanted to get on the road to financial health and wealth. All
right, first thing, like I tell people, and I'll use this. I have a cousin who stays with me. She's had cancer.
I'm sorry.
So what happened? She went to the doctors, and she went to Houston because she's friends with, but she lives with me in Atlanta. So she goes to the doctor, and she had breast cancer, and they told her stage 4, and so she decided, you know, but her conversation, she didn't want to do the normal thing, and they didn't want to do it. They said there's nothing they can really do for her. So I told her dad, like, I want you to stay, come back to Houston. She said, no, I want to go back and stay with Lester. She's been staying with me and my family. So she comes there and she stays, and I got saying to her dad, you got to put a person has to be not only given this the herbs and all the different things, but you got to be at peace of mind. You know, you can't be in a negative environment.
Right.
So she comes there. All of a sudden, I contact a lady who's giving on holistic stuff, and everything is gone now.
Wow.
Everything is gone because through my belief, and I tell people I'm not a doctor, I'm not anything like that. I don't watch TV. I just study health stuff all the time and everything like that. And just seeing it's parasites. Cancer's a lot of parasites. And so she started taking this thing, ivermectin, fenbendazole, and a few other things, and started changing her diet and cut down on the sugar. See, what we don't realize, I learned a long time ago, and I still like sugar, so don't get me wrong, because I cook some yams and put a pound of sugar in there and everything, you know. But sugar's a poison.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so you cut out the sugar, and like I lost, in the last month, I lost about 12, 15 pounds just by cutting out sugar and cutting out carbs. You know what I'm saying? And those things, your body is from inflammation. Think about a house. If you live in a house right next to you, in the other house nobody lived in, what happens to the house nobody lived? All those wires become dry rotted and everything because nothing's going through them. Your body's inflamed and everything. The same thing is happening then. Those veins, because anywhere I got pain, I feel like there's no blood getting there.
Right.
Hip pain or whatever, I go get a foam roller, roll and do things. Next thing you got no problem. But then I started making sure that we're not getting the proper nutrition we got. So every day I'm taking 30 to 50,000 vitamin D3. Okay, then I'm taking magnesium. Because think about it, when you play sports, and they used to tell you go take high jump, they tell you go take what's the Epsom salt? Epsom salt is nothing but magnesium. So what is that magnesium doing? Is getting your body relaxing. Now blood's able to flow, and now all that soreness is gone. So that's and vitamin D does not work with the magnesium. And then I take potassium. When I play sports, they used to give us salt pills. Okay, and a lot of athletes that died from some of the things I read died because they weren't getting the magnesium. Magnesium goes to the heart. It opens everything else to your body to flow. So my message now is trying to get us to wake up. And it's okay to go to hospitals and take the medications if you want to, but you need to learn your body. The body will tell you things that are going wrong and what you need to work on. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I may go to school and just to learn how to become a holistic doctor because I love learning about this nutrition. I had a female friend, she had a meniscus, thought she'd have meniscus. I say, Shannon, if I was you, you should do these exercises and take these different herbs. All of a sudden, I told her, get on the treadmill, walk backwards on the treadmill. She did that and took some things. She go to a doctor. Doctor said, your knee is great. She said, what did you do? She said, a friend of mine told me to do this thing. Say, tell him, don't talk to more of my patients. He's going to put me out of business. So that's what I want to get on to. I want to tell people, man, and I'm not like, say, I'm not here to tell your doctor. I'm just telling you, do your research. And just look online because everything is online too. A lot of things, whatever ailment you're dealing with, I would just start trying to deal with. Everything is not by going up under the knife. A lot of times you're missing the proper nutrition that you can have in order to, to be better. And I don't care what age you are.
Absolutely. That's what's up. Daryl, what you got for us?
That was it. He done preached to the choir right there. Health is wealth. And something I heard that I will drop this. My favorite two things I always say is peace and increase. But in order for you to get peace and increase, you got to go through that filtration process of your mind and your circle. Because your mind and your circle is the one of the most two powerful things on the face of this earth that can change your life forever. So in order to get that peace and increase, you got to go through that filtration process, because a filter holds what's good and it get rid of what's bad. We have to do the same thing, because if you don't pay attention to that, same as this brother just said about nutrition, your body is a filter, your kidneys and everything is a filter. But if you keep putting stuff in there bad, eventually you're going to be tore out the frame. So if you want that peace and increase in that high vibration of the temple that God done gave you, I always recommend, man, get rid of what's bad and hold on for dear life to what's good.
Yeah. So I want to hold one more thing. It's funny you said, I want to play this. I hope you guys can hear it. This is from Bruce Lee.
Put it in the microphone.
Hold on. Okay, hold on hold on. Here.
How do you find peace? You choose it by what you ignore, by what you release, by what you stop giving energy to. That's the shift.
You see that for peace?
Yeah.
You ignore it. It's what you give energy to. If we don't go energy to anything, that's your peace. We don't have to involve ourselves with it. And when I love that, and I heard that, like, oh man, it was just so heartwarming feeling for hearing that. And that's one of the things I'm adding now. You know how somebody, I got to get to my girl. Sometimes I get in an argument with her, she just look at me. She wouldn't say nothing. Just look at me and not say nothing. I was like, oh, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, and I'll end with that. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. So Darrell say peace and increase. For my brother today, I'm gonna say pace and God's grace.
Man.
And that's how we're gonna get down, man.
I like that.
So with that being said, guys, this has been an amazing episode. Brother Lester, thank you. Pace, thank you so much for coming on. I hope this is not the last
No, dude,
one,
you're my guy, man. And I look up to you. I get a lot of stuff from you just as much as you get from me.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I do. And we can learn from anybody. We can pick up things from anybody.
No, real talk.
I'm never not a person that's not open-minded.
Absolutely.
That's how I'm going to be able to stay young, because I'm hanging around the young, youthful people.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we're going to impact 1 billion. Like I said, it's not just about finances. It's about health and wealth as well. I'm J. Mac Millie. This is my boy Pace. This is Darrell. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the Wealthy Hours, where the wealth of knowledge is the application of power. I love y'all. Tune in next time. Let's go.
Peace.